it's typical for people to, at the beginning or at the end of the year, they start thinking about what's going to happen next year, what they want to achieve, what they want their life to look like. And so they get their little document out and they start writing down, okay, in 2024, I'm going to lose 40 pounds. Instead of making $60,000, I'm going to make $70,000. I'm going to find a woman that is going to be good for marriage. And they write down their whole list of goals, and then the year starts. And for those people who have had those fitness goals, those New Year's resolutions, we know a lot of that don't last. So what is the issue with that?
You're setting a goal based on your human experience versus what the spirit may have for you. First generation millionaires, if you've never seen that, never been around that, how do you break out of that?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Today for Tomorrow podcast. I'm Martell Fletcher.
Rodney Kemp. Mike Wright.
And on this episode of the podcast, we are going to completely dismantle the idea that you need to be focused on your goals. I mean, we've heard a lot. We've talked about it a lot. We've talked about goal setting a lot. We've talked about, how to achieve. We've talked about the mindset behind it. But we really, in this episode, I really want to just take it and I want to give it a new face in everybody's mind, because essentially, I mean, I've seen, you've seen that there's a certain way to go about it that doesn't actually get there. That kind of leads more to being upset and disappointed versus actually getting the real benefits of doing what you need to do and achieving it. So, Mike, you were talking about Deion Sanders a moment ago. I want to first start there. What has he done in Colorado?
So what he's done in Colorado is he's completely changed the environment. Deion is what we would call like a change agent. You know, when he enters the room is different after he leaves. He doesn't just come in and be a part of whatever was going on. He comes in and he brings his flavor. Like, you know, he said, I'm bringing luggage and it's Louis. It's going to be good.
And it's Louis.
You know, and that was the type of player he was, though. Deion is, you know, he's one of the greats. You know, he came in, he was playing football, then he was playing baseball. Like, I mean, he just embodies what it is to have a high achieving mindset and just impact change.
Mm-hmm. No, like specifically, because the thing is, I mean, Colorado, disclaimer, I am not the biggest sports fan. Like, I cannot tell you about what happened 5 years ago, who was the newest draft, what's their score, anything like that. But from what I've seen so far, you know, because Deion's pretty much shaking up the planet right now. Like, he is on top of this thing. Mm-hmm. And so, but I can only imagine, and you let me know, Colorado wasn't the same before he got here.
No, I think Colorado won one game.
Oh, well, 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but they had a history of losing these last few years.
Yeah. And they wanted something different. So this is the thing, though. This is the issue. And I anticipated it just in the beginning. And so what happened was he came in, you know, he had immediate change. Like, he told the whole football team, like, listen, a lot of y'all, most of y'all need to just go ahead and hit the transfer portal. Y'all not good enough. You thinking, am I good enough? You're not. You're not good enough. You got to go. And now he's, you know, a couple of them stayed, though. Mm-hmm. And he said that he did that on purpose because if you're not up for the challenge, if you don't feel challenged when you hear something like that, you aren't the type of person or the type of player that we need on this team. So he came out the gates hot, and I think the team exceeded expectations the first few games. So then the goals changed. You know what? The goal before was just, let's win more games than we did last year, which was one. Okay. Then it's like, okay, we won 2 or 3 games. We got to set new goals. So right now, we're a day after Colorado just lost to Oregon.
A big loss.
So now, does the goal change? You know, but that's where we go to the process is really should be the goal.
You said the key word, change agent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, you know, and talking about Leon and Colorado, so, you know, when I was looking at that, because my wife, she was like, you know, he shouldn't have talked all that stuff. He should have been quiet, more humble, but it's just, that's who he is. He has a plan, right? And he knows what that plan is. And that team, I'm thinking, know what that plan is. And those first 2 wins shouldn't change the plan.
It should not.
It should, you know, so to your point about if you keep moving the goal line, saying that, okay, now I've had some success, now I want to make my goals higher. I mean, I can understand you want to overachieve, but is it still lined up with the plan? You know.
So tell me this, what is the issue? Like, what is the issue that you see? Because, I mean, I think it's typical for people to, at the beginning or at the end of the year, you know, they start thinking about what's going to happen next year, what they want to achieve, what they want their life to look like. And so they get their little document out and they start writing down, okay, in 2024, I'm going to lose 40 pounds. Yeah. In 2024, I'm going to, instead of making $60,000, I'm going to make $70,000. In 2024, I'm going to find a woman and that is going to be good for marriage at some point. And they write down their whole list of goals, and then the year starts. And for those people who have had those fitness goals, those New Year's resolutions, we see it, we know a lot of that don't last. So
I like that you looked at me and you said,
because we all know.
we all know.
So it's like they've gone through this cycle, and a lot of people, they go through the cycle every single year of setting the goals, not achieving the goals, being disappointed about the goals, setting new goals, doing the same thing in a loop. So what is the issue with that?
So, and this is a topic that I'm very passionate about, and I was ecstatic when I seen Woolwich knock it out in Martell knows, like, because I'm so big on the process being better than the end product, which is the end goal. And the reason why is just as what he was describing does not work. First of all, a lot of these goals are unrealistic in the first place.
Let's start there.
That's number one.
Sure.
Where a lot of people are setting themselves up for failure right out the jump, because if your goal is to lose 50 pounds in 2 months, and in the last 2 years you've gained 50 pounds and you haven't lost any, what are you basing your goal off of? And you know, the thing is, a lot of people are basing their goal off of imagination. It's not based on any evidence that they produce daily that they can actually achieve that.
So it's, go ahead. Yeah, exactly. So setting a goal is not a bad, correct. I think we kind of put the context. It's like, what type of goals are you setting? And you said another thing. Are you setting yourself up for failure? So going back to Colorado and Deion Sanders and that team, if their goal was to win a national championship this year, when they started the season or after the 2 games, that's probably not realistic. Well, it's not realistic. You know what I mean? If they set a goal to win more games than they won last year, okay, well, they done that. But that unrealistic goal setting, because when people hear goals, they think they need to set something out. You know, that's just like, I won't say crazy. And then they just let it sit there. They don't do nothing with it.
To be clear, once again, setting goals is not an issue. We all set goals. We believe in high achievement. The issue is when all you focus on is the end goal. Like, so I have young kids, young sons, they play a lot of sports. Every weekend, what do we say? What do we want to do this weekend?
Win.
We want to win. Okay, cool. What do the other guys want to do this weekend?
They want to win.
They want to win. That shouldn't be the ultimate goal. Not saying that we don't want to win. We want to win. But how do we win?
Yeah.
How do we win? Okay, cool. We're playing football, if I line up correctly, if I'm disciplined, make sure we don't jump off sides or do any false starts. Okay, if I'm blocking, I execute my block so the running back can go. If I'm running, I'm executing. I'm taking the handoff. I'm doing it What am I doing? What are the steps that result with a win? See, that's the part where a lot of people, I call it scoreboard watch. They're just looking at the scoreboard like, oh, we got to get more points than them. That's not a strategy to actually win anything. No, all that's going to do is give you anxiety because you're doing more watching than you're doing actually action-based things that are going to result in that scoreboard move.
Good.
I want to go back to what you were talking about with Dion. You said when he's a change agent. That was the key.
Yep.
So the thing is, when he came in, I love what you said. He brought the team out. He said, most of y'all go ahead and get into the transfer portal because you're not ready for this.
Yep.
And the thing about that, like it was the indicator of a culture shift. Like he pretty much with that, he was saying things are not going to be as they were before.
He's a disruptor.
He disrupted everything. And so the thing is, now with that, he also had to have in mind, okay, we're going to be doing different things that you haven't done before. We're going to be, the culture is going to be different. The mindset is going to be different. The daily practice is going to be different because we will achieve different results. But he didn't say, all right, guys, get into the transfer portal if you don't want to win a championship. No. He said, if you aren't, this is going to be work here. Because he already know, in his mind, he already knows, okay, the goal is to get to the championship. But we are not the team yet to actually get that championship. And so in that team, he has to change the culture, which is the thoughts, patterns, the attitude, the ideas, and the daily patterns that lead to the result.
Exactly. So, because I love something that's just so. The thing is, let's say they do win a national championship. The whole point is we don't control something that far in the future. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So what do we control? We control what we do today.
Exactly.
And then tomorrow, we have the same mindset. What are we doing today?
Yeah.
And if we put enough days together, eventually we're going to be exactly where we're supposed to be.
Yeah. I
just study successful programs. I love it. You know, we always have a saying, success leaves clues.
Yeah.
One of the greatest programs as of late, Alabama football. Mm. I read a book about Nick Saban, and what's interesting, when they were going on their stint, they were winning like national champion back then. They never talk about winning a national champion. He said, you won't see a sign posted in there. Mm-hmm. What they do talk about every day is the process. Every play we're coaching, like that's the only play that matters. Every play, it doesn't matter if this is first quarter, it doesn't matter if it's fourth quarter, we're coaching everything hard. And you can see it in the result of the product that they're getting because they're focused on each play versus focused on getting more points than the other guys.
Mm-hmm. So bad. I think that point you're making really is great because if you are focused on doing the best thing right in front of you, okay, doing the best you can with that, that's going to take you a certain path, right? So if you're successful, and you talk about Alabama, talk about Missouri back in the day when they had their dynasty going on, you know, to your point, the teams, if you start looking too far in the future or stuff, you lose sight of the present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right there. That's it right there.
Yeah.
If you start looking too far in the future, you lose sight of the present. And it's the butterfly effect. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, your future is going to change based on what you're doing presently.
Yeah. No.
I want to go ahead and quote Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So the reason that I bring that scripture up is because God, as I've said before, wants to brainwash you. And then the fact is, like, he's talking about the renewing, the transforming of your mind, because who you currently are, you know, at a base level, when you're born, we have that spirit of that sin, okay? You have to be renewed, and you have to continuously be renewing your mind, because it's going to make you do different things. And when you do different things, then you start to see a different life. Mm-hmm. And once you start to understand things in a different way, you essentially are a different creature. Like we talked about, like, you know, the spirit, when we talk about how you got to be born again. Why? You need to be born again because who you were is not going to work with where you want to go, where you have declared that you want to be. And so everything about like meditating on the word day and night, it's important because it's making you somebody else. It's making you into this new creation.
I love that. It's when you say that, and it's true. You know, you have, and that structure, the old structure, has to be torn down. It has to be replaced.
Yeah.
And you know, God does that with us. And as you read that scripture, I mean, we talked about Dion in Colorado. He's did the same thing. He has to go in. He has to change that mindset. And you know, talk about life in general. I mean, we have to continue to change our mindset because the world, to the point, will tell you, and just use this as an example. First 2 games, man, they gonna be great. They got a ring. They all. I mean, the world will hold you up. Boom, boom. You the man. Or, you the woman. And then as soon as you fail, oh, you ain't no good. You ain't nothing. You know,
man. So this is perfect, and that was a perfect verse. So the issue is when we set goals, a lot of these goals aren't even based on us. They're based on what the patterns of the world are. People are looking at social media. You're talking to your friends. We look at a lot of professions that were chosen. A lot of those from a young age. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a lawyer. But that was based on what their parents programmed them to think. You have to find out what God really put on your own heart. And the only way of doing that is you have to be with one. You have to seek God. You have to do your daily prayers. You have to do your daily meditations, because the problem is, like what you were saying, right? When you base your patterns, your goals on what the world says that you should be doing, it's empty from the beginning.
100.
You'll never achieve it because the goal is going to keep moving. As soon as you get to the top of one mode, all of a sudden you see the peak of another one, which is not a bad thing. Like I said, we want to reiterate, we're not against goals. We all believe in high achieving and really stretching yourself and pushing yourself. So just to be clear, however, the issue is when you're trying to control the end result.
Yeah.
That's the part where we have to let go, because that belongs to God. We don't control what his will is. That's the humanness in us trying to, I gotta control this. Oh, this is my baby. This is my baby. This is my projects. Oh, listen, do what you're going to do. Allow others to come in and collaborate. Most of all, let God do his will. Because if you're focused on doing your part daily, everything's going to reveal itself. I'm a true testament. I can say, like, the past year and a half, I'm doing things now. If I would have had my mind and my goals, I never would, right now speak, I never would have had a podcast in my plan. It wasn't because it wasn't in my human brain. That was never a goal of mine.
There's a quote, Jim Rohn, way back. He said, if you go to work on your goals go to work on you. If you go to work on your plan goes to work on you. Whatever good things we build end up building us. So when we talk about, like, to your point, okay, maybe I set this goal for myself. I decided that this is the vision that I want to manifest into my life. When I get to actually moving on the thing, like, actually, okay, what is the work that needs to be done to get to that?
Yeah.
That is the most important thing right there. Because the thing is, like, if we're scoreboard watching, then we're missing all of the in between. We don't really understand what's going on here, and so maybe we don't get the score, or maybe we do get the score, but then that's the end. But what the gold in the whole situation is everything that had to happen to lead up to it. We talk about, I mean, it's almost cliche at this point when people say, it's the process and the journey, or it's the journey more than the destination. Yeah, it's the journey, not the destination. But essentially, It is.
That's the thing about a lot of cliches, like they derive from something real. Like, oh, that's just cliche. No. Yeah, it's been around for thousands of years because it makes sense.
Yeah, this is some wisdom.
The thing is, really quick, let's say money, for example, because a lot of people like to set monetary goals. If you guys chime in and let me know any goal that you put out there, once you hit that goal, was it enough?
Nope.
No,
It's never enough.
If the goal was 300 to bench 300, after I do that, I need 350 immediately.
And that's the challenge when you set a goal. A lot of time, when you set a goal other than what you're doing to be the best version of yourself right now, my goal right now is to let whatever words are flowing out of me be the best that I can produce right now for somebody that's listening to it. That's my goal right here. Is not to, we want to set the world on fire. And don't get me wrong, we do want to do that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's not my focus, right? In this moment, I want to be the best version of myself so that I can say something that can impact somebody listening. That's my goal right now.
But what, to add to what you're saying, I mean, in everything you talked about, like hitting that goal, using lifting weights as an example. So when you get to that 300 pounds, so when you get to that goal, even though you want more after that, going back to the journey, lifting weights, you're stronger. You're physically strong. You're able to do more in other areas than you before you didn't do that, right? Well, as you hit that goal, whether it be in real estate or whatever, okay, you get there, but that journey that you went on, now you got new contacts, you got new resources, now you expand yourself in a way that exceeds what that goal was. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the goal is cool, you hit it, and then you start, but then you can't lose sight of everything to the point, the journey again, and the steps, the process you went through to get there is so important at that point, because now that process is building your foundation.
So let's, two things. One thing, staying on the theme of, let's say 350 is the goal. You want to bench 350. You started at like 275. Working your hardest every day. You push it up a little bit. You make it to 315. You didn't hit your goal. You suck.
Well, pack it in. We ain't going to the gym again.
Come on, man. No, you did make progress, though. That's actually, some people, that may not be in your makeup. Yeah, it's not for you, but you're better than you were had you not even tried. So if that was the goal, then you would feel positive about, you know what? Man, look how far I've come. Versus, I didn't hit that goal that may have not been realistic in the first place.
But it's almost like hitting the target, right? They say you're not going to be perfect, but you need to strive for perfection. Yeah. Then when you miss the mark, you might be a little far off, but you want to strive for that goal. And if you miss that mark, to your point, don't miss out on the fact that you got to a point.
I mean, what you just described. Think about the Olympic archers, right? They're not sitting there with the target right in front of them and they're just trying to throw things at it. No. Their whole practice is about, what does my arm need to be doing? How do I need to be focusing? Where is my breathing? How am I positioning myself? Yeah. And then they're doing that on a daily basis. I mean, shoot, if you get rid of the actual target and they just get really good at hitting in the same exact spot, wherever they're at.
Hold on. You said it kind of fast, brother. Slow it down. Slow it down. If you get rid of the target, see, now you talking. That's because you focusing on the process.
Exactly.
All right, you're gonna be able to hit the target.
Oh yeah. Put it back. Let's do it.
If you would have set a goal and focused on the target, that was the goal.
I'm not getting it.
I'm not getting that target at 20 feet. Your capacity may be 250 feet. Right? And it made me think of a lot of times when we were growing up with the mindset of a working mate, blue collar mindset. What we used to hear a lot was, I just want my bills paid.
Yeah.
I want to make ends meet. I want to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And if you're just focused on making ends meet, you could have been a one-time millionaire.
Yeah.
That could have helped thousands of kids. but you just wanted to make ends meet. That was your goal. And so you end up stifling yourself because you're setting a goal based on your human experience versus what the spirit may have for you. First generation millionaires, if you've never seen that, never been around that, how do you break out of that?
Yeah.
It has to come from somewhere, from something else other than yourself, because you've never seen it.
Yeah. I think the example we're going through right now, when we talk about the man to put on here, Mike brought something to the table and said, hey, what school kids go to, hey, man, it'd be good for us to set up a mentoring program with, right? That's what it started. That was the goal. Go in there, be like, oh, man, they really need help let out lunchtime too, man. Then get in there again, start talking. It's like, well, it'd be good to set up a store for them. So the goal was a mentoring program, but what if we would have just stayed with that goal and not thought about nothing else, but it was like the need was different.
And we end up mentoring while we're doing these other activities. We're helping out at a lunch duty, but we're mentoring kids. We're helping out and then we're mentoring kids. So the goals end up being compound.
Yeah, they do. But if the goal would have been, we've been so rigid.
Yeah. No, this is all we do.
Yep. Like you said, we focus on that target, instead of the process.
So let's unpack this. For the person who's sitting there like, okay, good, I understand it now. But like, okay, what do I do? We're getting close to 2024, and this is what I would do. This is how I go about this whole process. What I do is I go ahead and visualize exactly what I would like to achieve. Like I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna start with understanding like what I actually want and what I think is possible, what is realistic. And so after I figured that out, that's the top level thing. Like we were just talking about in this whole conversation, that's not where I stay. We gotta get deeper than that. So after I figure out what the outcome is that I'm looking for, I have to figure out then what is the process to get there. Like, what do I need to do this week? What do I need to do today? What needs to be happening in this month? Yeah. Not necessarily, okay, what marks do I need to achieve? Because I can't control the outcome, like you said. I can only control what I do, the input. And so when I'm setting this, I figure out exactly what the outcome is that I'm looking for, but then I outline everything that I need to do for that to be achieved. Now, with that being said, my everyday is focused on my actual goal for the day and for the month is, did I do the reps that were required to actually achieve the outcome? Because I think a lot of times when you talk to anybody who's like, okay, I wanted to, or my goal was to, staying with weights here, my goal was to lift 300 pounds. 350 pounds. I started at 275. And they X amount of time that they said that they were going to achieve that thing, they said, I'm at 315. Let's go back to month one. How many times did you get in the gym? You said that you were trying to get to 350, you were at 275, you needed to be in there every day. You got in there 10 days of the month. Oh yeah, I was in there, I was in the gym every week or whatever. I was in the gym. And it's like, okay, but you didn't do what you needed to do to get to the result. So how could you have expected the result? Did you eat right? No, you was eating trash every single day. You're missing the point, because the thing is, once you understand that you need to actually be doing the things that are required to get to the result, you understand that once you get to the result, you have become a new creature. You have become a new person. So now that goal is not even something that's out of your realm. I always say, like, you're not going to achieve any goal outside of what your habits and your patterns and who you are will naturally achieve, because it's out of your scope. We talked about it in that episode a while back, or not a while back, but some time ago. We were talking about complacency, but it's like, essentially, at the level that you are, you're doing everything you can do. You have to be different to achieve different.
I think you summed it up good. I mean, it's that point, as you go through the process, like, it's like, okay, you got to go, but what, to what I heard you say, is what are those reps you got to get in to get?
What are the reps?
What do you have to do to build into that goal? Because if you're not going to do it, you're not going to get there. And I think the human nature, that mindset, is that for that whatever reason, we'll keep getting on that scale every morning. and haven't done nothing different. Yeah. You know, seriously.
So what happens is it actually starts to become like a negative impact. Because if you're so locked in on this goal, weights, like body weight, nah, that's a big one with people. I want to be a certain amount of weight. I gotta lose 50 pounds. And it's like, listen, everybody's body shape is different. We all weigh different. You know, if you have more muscle, you're going to weigh more. Muscle weighs more than fat. If you're just looking at the scale, you can be unhealthy, starving yourself, and you can lose weight. But is that really how you want to do it?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing where you have to I like what you said about you have to first have a vision. And you should think big visions. Like, once again, you should have big, lofty goals. But quickly after that goal, you have to go to your process.
You have to.
Your daily process, not even just the process, your daily process, and you have to work the process.
I think so. Last thing, because I don't want nobody to try to. You guys are talking about fitness, and I'm not trying to lift a whole bunch of weights. I'm just trying to make $10,000 more in a year. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's the same kind of deal.
Oh, it is.
You're talking about if you run a business. The thing is, like, you might have set the goal. I want to make 100,000, and you need to be making 10,000 a month. Okay, cool. If you have to take, what are you currently doing on a daily basis? How many offers are going out? How many people even know that you do the thing that you say that you do? Okay, cool. So on the back end of that, every single day, is there someone who is learning about the thing that you do and giving yourself the opportunity to make a sale?
Yep.
You're not putting out enough offers to even increase your income because you're still so stuck sitting on like, what do I need to do today? And how can I do this to make more money? But it's like, get up and work.
You gotta have some action.
Yeah.
Gotta have some action.
But yeah, so fellas, thank you. I think, we got some. We got it.
We can go on and on this topic, but I think it comes down to what you said and what Mike's been saying all along.
Process is better than the end product. That's it. The process is greater than the product.
If you are looking for a super amazing, awesome, extraordinary, outstandingly wonderful men's group, we've got information for Men 2.0. All of the description, all the information is in the description below. You've heard about it. It's a group of individuals who have all come together to sharpen each other. We meet up once a month, and it's a group that you don't want to miss because it's also, we're not just bringing in like everybody's, they're super spirit led and they're all Bible thumping and gonna hit you in the head with it. No, these are real people who have gone through real things and they're trying to really develop in their life. And so we're bringing our personal development with spiritual development. So this is a group that you want to be around. So information is below, be a part of it. And with that, if you like this episode, you're gonna love this episode on your screen, and we'll see you there. Peace.